Welcome to the CookUp, and today we're serving up something extra special for you, CookUp connoisseurs. Now, we have featuring today one of our ICH, the Intangible Cultural Heritage Domains. And we are going to be speaking to a very special guest. My name is Alicia Daniel Blake. I am the Research and Communications Officer in the Department of Sports and the Creative Economy. Today, we focus on performing arts, and our assistant chef in the CookUp kitchen is once, a long time ago, maybe not so long ago, a rap performer. And that's straight up cultural heritage, but he also fits into the ICH domain of oral traditions, in that he tells the stories and experiences in the spoken word or poetry. Now, he now holds a position of prominence in our society. I am talking about the one, the only Honorable Minister with responsibility for agriculture, fisheries, marine resources, small business and entrepreneurship, cooperatives, sports, and the creative economy. Minister, that was a mouthful. Welcome to the CookUp.
Thank you for having me. This was quite a surprise.
Well, not only are you our minister, but you happen to have had experience in the performing arts. And CookUp connoisseurs, we invited you to this kitchen because those of you who locally are on the younger side of age may not know what Minister Duggins is capable of in the performing arts. So we want to let you know, but also those of you regionally and internationally, this is going to be an eye-opener for you as well. Now, Minister, we have a clip of you when you were performing on Island Expressions, and the performance was pertaining to Haiti. Haiti is going through a lot of issues right now, but this performance, let us show the CookUp connoisseurs so they can see exactly what you were talking about.
What would you do if you felt the earth rumbling, buildings crumbling, the ground open up, taking in every place that you're thinking about running in? Whole ladies, grown men, children all shaking up, feeling like a dream, but ain't nobody waking up. A lot of people crying cause a lot of people dying. Look around on the ground, dead bodies lying there, some of them torn apart. And you start to feel sad, but then the building goes boom, disrupting your train of thought. Picture you staring firsthand at the horrors. Can't change the channel and you can't press pause, cause it ain't CNN, no it ain't BBC. Picture you starring in this Haitian reality, trying to find a place to hide, so you gotta hustle. But then you hear a baby crying somewhere in the rubble, thinking you could save it if you had a little muscle. But in that second that you lapse, the building next to you collapse. And that's the last thought that you had as you took your last breath. Now they on the news and they acting like they all care. Some speculating this might be a new type of warfare. But should you really care? Now is it really fair? When the fact is that you knelt and you begged the world for help, years and years before the earthquake was felt. And nobody listened. Thank you.
There you go. Minister, you can tell that you were very dramatic in that moment. Your eyes were closed. How were you feeling?
Passionate. I think that was around the time when they had the earthquake.
Yes.
And I was looking at the circumstances that they were going through. And, you know, even now, I'm looking back at that piece, recognizing that we have not done enough to help the people of Haiti and in all that they've done for us as a people. Because our own freedom is really due to the fight that Haiti put forward in the region, being the first free state in the Caribbean after colonization. And they fought for that.
Yes.
And we have not been fighting enough for them. And interestingly, I've been discussing with some colleagues recently because they're still going through turmoil and discussing how can we help. And so looking back at this piece, which was, wow, almost 20 years ago. Almost.
Yes, almost. All right.
Wow.
Now, as a youth, even before this, you caught the eye of UNESCO. In fact, UNESCO Small Islands Voice would have coordinated for you to do some traveling representing the Federation. Tell us about that experience. Where did you go to?
Yes, that was quite a wonderful experience for me. It was in 2002. UNESCO, I enrolled with UNESCO as the Caribbean's youth rep, and I represented the Caribbean first in the Philippines, Palau to be exact, at an interregional conference. And I remember when they asked me to participate, I asked them if I could perform. And they hadn't gotten back to me until about the day before I left. And I wrote the piece on the plane over.
Wow.
Strange enough and interestingly, UNESCO, after the performance, adopted that as their global theme. And they then enrolled me to travel again to the Seychelles in preparation for another travel with Mauritius. And from there, that, you know, the dynamics had changed, and things kind of fizzled out after that with the whole UNESCO Small Island Voice movement for a bit. But while I was in the Palau, they put me on a schools tour. I visited the high schools there, performed for the children. I performed at the opening ceremony, and you know, it like the response from the officials at UNESCO. And I remember years after reading an email from them where they were inviting me to, it was to Seychelles actually. Mm-hmm. And the comment made in the email was that I was the most significant youth in their global organization.
That is an achievement.
That touched me.
That is momentous.
That touched me.
So you've been making waves way long before you became Minister Duggins.
I've been working.
So tell us about Virtuous High School. How instrumental was that institution in molding your creativity, in fostering, I guess, even up until now, what you have become?
Virtuous High School for me, as I've always said, was a life changer. I, at 12 years old, entering the high school, it really showed me a different side to life. Because not just at the time you enter in adolescent, as an adolescent, but also the cultural differences. And it took me away from the realities of what I was experiencing. You know, the realities of the community, the realities of the era. And it took me away, and it gave me some time to focus and see life quite differently. But my creative presence, I would say, begun there. I started performing at the Virtuous High School, and then we took it from the Virtuous High School to the national arena. And I have to give credit to persons like Wanda Connor, Vincent Foe, Alistair Williams, Pierre Libard, who made way for our talent to be able to be on shows like Talented Teen and Rotaract Prince and Princess and Miss Sinkis and Miss Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And it was in those moments that people saw what we were capable of, and we were able to then move on to the music festival and then headline shows in St. Martin, French Independence Day, and you know, around the region. Montserrat and Antigua. And,
there you go.
Yes.
So how did expressions, poetry, and open mic boost this career, in a sense, and turn it into a business?
You know...
Well, and Express Yourself, the company.
The thing is, that would have to be answered in the root cause. Like, I feel like I've learned early in my life the importance of recognition. And I've been an advocate for all my life, and I think it's just something within me. If there's a marginalized sector or group, and I could help, I would step in and advocate for that. And I remember just being young and looking around my community, and the lack of ambition or the fear where people think, I'm not good enough. there was a lot of that. I'm not good enough. And, you know, just that idea, I wanted to stamp that out. And music and the spoken word gave me an audience. And that audience helped to bring light to people around me where they recognize now that the world recognizes them and they're not invisible. And after some years of doing the local performances, regional performances, global performances with UNESCO, I recognized that a lot of my colleagues did not have that experience. And they did not have the exposure to get on some of the shows that I did. So I created one for them.
All right, so I like that. That sounds like something motivational. And interestingly, when we come back, we are going to look at some of that, the way in which you help to boost young people. So CookUp connoisseurs, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more from Minister Samal Duggins.
Check on your battery. Check. Emergency center. Check. Store up your water. Check. And board up your window. Check. So you got to place it. Check. Before it is too late. Check. Disaster could happen anytime, any place. Check on your elders. Check. And your insurance. Check. Secure the animals. Check. Tie down the gas tank. Check. Don't intoxicate. You got to play it safe. Disaster could happen anytime, any place.
For more information, contact your National Emergency Center today. Before the storm, stock up on perishable foods to last at least 24 hours. Secure important documents. Full up on gasoline. Remove boats and fishing pots from the water. During the storm, unplug electrical appliances. Do not go outside. Listen to your radio station. After the storm, do not go sightseeing. Make sure the entire family is okay and assess and photograph all damages.
Check on your battery. Check. Emergency center. Check. Store up your water. Check. And board up your window. Check. So you got to place it. Check. Before it is too late. Disaster could happen anytime, any place.
Welcome back, CookUp connoisseurs. And if you're just joining us, we have the honor of having in our presence the minister responsible for our department, the Department of Sports and the Creative Economy. So Minister Duggins, let's give our CookUp connoisseurs an idea of how they can reach us. You can reach us at Facebook at SKNICH or ICHSKN, also on YouTube at St. Kitts Culture and Twitter at St. Kitts Culture. Minister Duggins, now we know that Island Expressions showcased many budding poets and performers, but we understand that you're also a motivational speaker, and we got a little piece of that near the end of our last segment, in that you always encourage young people in particular. Now, how would you say, in fact, before we do that, let's show a bit of what you did on Youth Profiles and let our CookUp connoisseurs decide for themselves if you are a motivational speaker. Let's have a look at that.
As an individual now, you know, even reflecting on some of my achievements in entertainment, you know, even standing on stage at the St. Kitts Music Festival in 2004 and 2007 and 2008 has been huge accomplishments for me, especially doing rap. Because when I started doing rap in 1999 here on the island, everybody asked, what nonsense you doing? You would never get anywhere doing that. To this day, I've been sought after by almost every corporate company to write commercials for them, to write songs for them in rap. I'm talking just a little more than 10 years after. It is the biggest thing. A little more than 10 years ago, they told me it was nonsense. I should give it up. I would never get anywhere with it. Now I make thousands of dollars doing it. Stick to what you believe in. And that's how I feel.
Well, welcome back, CookUp connoisseurs. We'll continue on. Minister Duggins, you were speaking about people didn't expect rap to be something that would catch on in St. Kitts and Nevis, yet it did. So you were encouraging young people to do your thing.
Correct.
Does that still apply?
Always. For me, I always believe that each person has a path, has a destiny. And, you know, Nelson Mandela made famous a quote that for years I've always held dear. When he said, dimming your light, and I'm paraphrasing, but not dimming your light serves nobody any good. And he said, you know, let your light shine, because that is what brightens the pathway for others. And I had one in my office that says, you can't effectively hold a candle to brighten the path of someone else without brightening your own. And so when you look at those quotes, you recognize that the idea is for you to be yourself, and recognizing that in allowing that light to shine, you also inspire other people to then be themselves and contribute effectively to society as a whole. And I believe that fundamentally.
Very inspiring. Now, suppose someone tries to strike out there on their own, and for some reason there are challenges. There's no success soon after they start. What would you tell them?
There's hardly ever success soon after you start. The truth is, I'm here in this chair today, and I remember a few weeks ago, I was walking through Newtown, and a lady saw me, and she came and she spoke to me, and she was saying, you know, you're just my favorite, and I want you to understand, like, I listen to you every day. And I'm thinking like she's kidding, and then she takes her phone out, and she's playing a video from my inaugural speech 2 years ago.
There you go.
And she met me by coincidence. And she's like, I listen to this always. And in that speech, I spoke about that little black boy. And it's a true story, like, to be a young black man from a marginalized community, you are never good enough in other people's eyes. So no matter what you try, and that goes for boy or girl, but just, you know, the symbolism, no matter what you try, you're never good enough. And even when you've proven yourself, oh, well, I saw you got to this level, but you can't go to the next level. And even when you get there, well, you know, that's the final level you'll ever get to. You can't go to the next level. And it's just that idea that somehow is perpetrated by our society, that if you come from a certain standard, that you can't grow beyond that. And we should never let that deter us. Otherwise, if I did, I would still be the little black boy running around barefooted.
Yes, I comprehend our society is tough. But tell us now about your passion scholarship, because you are putting your words or money where your words are. Tell us about that, because you not only tell young people that they can achieve greatness, but you're helping them.
But that's what I'm saying, like, the advocacy is real for me. It's not just rhetoric, it's not talk. And that scholarship started again because I try to replicate success where I see it. And in my own life, part of what changed that little black boy to the path that I am at now is a scholarship. And that made me look at life quite differently, recognizing that someone cared enough to step in and say, hey, I recognize you, and I recognize your talents, and I want to show you that they're worth something. But also, it made me more responsible, recognizing that if I had gotten in trouble, I would lose it. And it means then that my parents would have to now find the money to pay for all my school supplies. And so the responsibility directed me away from trouble.
What does the scholarship entail as well?
And, well, the scholarship, and just before I get into that, for me, after recognizing that, I wanted to then reach back and see if I could save at least one life by replicating what that did for me. And I think over the last 18 years, almost 20. 2004 I started, so 20 years now.
Wow.
So for the last 20 years, I've had quite a few scholars that have passed through the program. And right now, we've revamped it a couple years ago. And we now do 4 students per year. And on initiation, they all get a laptop, financial assistance with school supplies. We also do a number of programs with them where they learn life skills, where they see different, they are able to, have different experiences. So sometimes if I am hosting an event, I will invite them. If I am doing something like the most recent one, we took them on a marine excursion so they could learn about the marine life.
All right.
Yes.
Now this is really digging deep, and we'll discuss this some more, but right now we need to take a break. So CookUp connoisseurs, we'll be right back.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to the Sankis Craft House. This is where life begins, and what we create will leave you speechless. We train, we create, we promote, and we maintain the highest standards. Experience life for yourself. The premier craft and production facility in St. Kitts and Nevis.
I hope you're ready for what's coming now. I'm the one, I'm the lady that will bring it down.
When persons with TB sneeze or cough, healthy persons nearby breathe in the droplets and the bacteria can lodge in their lungs. People with weakened immune systems such as HIV/AIDS, alcohol and drug users, smokers, children, and the elderly are most susceptible. Persons with a cough should take precautions when in contact with persons in public places. Cover your mouth when sneezing and coughing. Visit your doctor or health center. You must complete your treatment. TB can be cured even with HIV. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB and HIV. Protect yourself and others.
CookUp connoisseurs, welcome back. And our featured guest is Minister Samal Duggins. We've been looking at what he has been doing creatively as well as motivationally. Minister, now, our CookUp connoisseurs would not let me live it down if I did not ask you some of the more difficult questions. So one of those would be, what are you going to do to promote, or what have you been doing, because I know you have been doing, to promote creativity and the arts in the Federation?
Living it. When you look at culture and what I've been doing with culture, I went and I learned to walk on stilts just to make sure that we keep that culture alive. But outside of that, I continue to assist young people in the arts in personal and ministerial ways. We would have created the Creative Arts Fund that would have been able to financially support our creatives. We also are in the process now of preparing to host our Creative Arts Convention, Creative Power. And again, that is bringing some of the industry leaders from around the world to train our creatives to be able to harness the potential of the creative economy. Outside of that, I've also, as I've done in the past, advocated for a space for creatives. So much so creating Island Expression, which was a platform and a space for creatives. Now in this position, I've gone on now to create the space for the development of a creative arts center, which we should be having a groundbreaking sometime soon.
Yay!
Yes. So for me, it's the continued advocacy for creatives all the way through in the fundamental ways. And also recognizing that the creatives themselves, while they require a space in the world, there's also a similar responsibility, I would say, to showcase to the creatives the differences in the world that they live. Because being a businessman and a mathematician and a lover of physics and science, and then being a creative, it's almost like operating in two worlds.
Yeah.
Because the creative world deals with emotion and feeling and inspiration Sometimes you're in the weirdest place and you have the weirdest idea. And then you need to learn to break that down into a practical sense to be able to operate in the world that we live in.
Okay, I like that. One quick question, and then I'm going to ask you to do something special for us today. What about ICH, Intangible Cultural Heritage? That is our traditional art forms.
Yes.
We see the glamour side of it. We see the big things like troops and so on. But what about the other things like the mummies and so forth? How have you been assisting those as well?
So we've done quite a bit of work in terms of bringing that to another generation. So we do training in our summer camps. We do different sessions for young people, where the persons who would have had 20, 30, 40, 50 years experience can now train that 5-6-year-old and bridge the gap, so that that 5-6-year-old never forgets what it really truly means to be a mummy or actor or any of the sort, or even understand what a coal pot, the value of a coal pot, you know?
Speaking of which, time is slipping from us. Can you please reach into the CookUp pot and take out a difficult question for us?
Oh, Lord. Oh, that's it. All right.
Got it? Would you like me to read it for you? And it is government willing to invest more money in safeguarding St. Kitts and Nevis's intangible cultural heritage?
That's an easy question. Yes, we are willing.
Okay.
And not that we are just willing, but we are doing it. Like I said, we've increased efforts beyond those some of the recent past in terms of safeguarding. And even this program, CookUp, it showcases our intent and our efforts in doing exactly that.
There you go. And so, CookUp connoisseurs, check out our Facebook pages, SKN ICH or ICH SKN. Check out our YouTube channel at St. Kitts Culture. Check out Twitter at St. Kitts Culture. We have a lot there for you to explore. We'd like to thank Minister Duggins for honoring us with his presence today and for letting us into him, because he was able to tell us specifically about his life as a creative. So see you next time. Remember, we have a show every single Thursday. Next week, look out for Living Heritage. So CookUp connoisseurs, join the conversation. Go to our different platforms and let us know what you think about our shows. Bye.